Good morning. Welcome to the Meltdown. A little bit late this morning, but there's really some pretty interesting things that I want to talk about in the overall economy and how it's going to affect you. I don't care whether you're in the top 1% or the bottom 1% in this nation. Everybody has a concern, for the most part. Over 70% of people polled by CNN have a concern for the economy. Now, what bothers me is that the same CNN poll says that 32% are seeing optimistic movement. Folks, that's 102%. How do you get to that figure? Besides the fact that they don't know how to add, most people believe that things are not getting any better. Now, out of 1,070 people, we're a country of over 310 million. So it's hardly a means for gauging the economy. But I think the sentiment is that things are not getting any better. That for the top 1%, they're the ones that are taking advantage of the movement in market. I worry about those things. And it's why I believe that the calling is about diversification, about owning other things that other people want. The Dow is down, the NASDAQ's down, the S&P is down a little bit. It's all fractions. But the price of oil has moved over $100 a barrel. As we close in on 140, we still got a long way to go. The traders are making money. Their clients are making money. Few people obviously are shorting the market. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 2.99. That's probably a fractional if you carry it out, but we're right at 3%. The Federal Reserve does not have control of interest rates. And for all of the positive information that comes out of the Department of Labor or the Federal Reserve or the banking system, we've got problems. Now, talking about the fact that China is now moved into quantitative easing, that the U.S. Postal Service is going to go up another 3 cents on a price of a stamp, just leads us to understand that there are problems out there. Now, online transactions skyrocketing. Brick and mortar businesses falling through the cracks and losing rates and business as fast as is imaginable. We're going to see more problems, more real estate coming on the market. It's all going to get manipulated and it's all going to be dealt with. Folks, I worry about the housing market, that we're creating another bubble economy. I worry about the fact that we can juggle and juggle and juggle, and interest rates keep rising. And in spite of that, there's still the top 1% of Americans that are making money in this market. People are getting jobs, but they're going to end up as seasonal jobs. What happens after the first when everything gets packed up and all of a sudden everything is gone? Now, the government reports unemployment below 7%. The reality of that figure is that the long-term unemployed don't get thought of, mentioned, or even calculated into the formulas. And how are we going to create more jobs over the long haul without creating inflation? Because let me tell you something. The Japanese are reporting inflation over 1% for the first time in a long time. I want to say it was the last 5 to 7 years. 1% inflation? Really? How about the price of gasoline has gone up over 10% since we hit the bottom of $2.70? Oh, that was just before Thanksgiving, so 5 weeks ago? Coming into work this morning, I saw gasoline at 3 different places, 3 blocks apart. 2 of them are the favorite 2 that I pick on all the time. One was $3.19 for regular unleaded. The other was $3.23. But drive 3 blocks, cross over the railroad tracks, less than 1/10 of a mile away, the price dropped to $3.09. So you've got to beware of what's going on out there. Now, I want to tell you that one of the conversations I had here in the office yesterday dealt with politics. And I really don't try to get too much in the aisle when I start to discuss it, particularly in a podcast. They say that religion and politics are the 2 things you don't talk or discuss with your family. Well, if you listen into the shows, then you're part of the family. You understand that this isn't gloom and doom. This is just reality. So I've got a customer who is very, very, very GOP oriented. Client writes white paper to Congress. He's very involved in the healthcare industry. And discussing our current administration is very, very annoying for all of us. It always is that way. There's not been very many presidents at the executive level, obviously, that we all get real positive about. Division is okay if there's compromise. And that's true of marriage, it's true of government, it's true of many things that happen in our lives. Even in my office, this isn't a demagogue. We consult. We try to make compromise to make progress in everything we do. Same customer who's GOP oriented is petrified of a straight ticket victory in 2 years. Part of that reason is obviously you've got Democrats and Republicans, but then you've got independents and you throw the mix into Tea Party members. And folks, Tea Party members are pretty much no-oriented. Now, this is a conversation that Michael and I had before I came on air. And it's one thing to be in the no group. I don't like that. I don't want that. Offer me a compromise. Offer me an alternative. You know, you may not like the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, but give me an alternative. Give me the means to change things and make progress. It's too easy to say no. In the Senate, when we're doing our research, Michael found that it's a 6-to-1 ratio of Tea Party members over the general GOP that are pushing things like security or the Patriot Act. When you get to the House, it's 2-to-1. Overall, we've got dissension, and if we don't find compromise the way we did over 30, 40 years ago, this is the worst Congress in history. Don't tell me things are getting better. They're not. That's obvious. I worry about where we're all headed, and not to be gloom and doom, but to talk about the readjustment of wealth. Taxes are in the news. That's certainly a topic that everybody deals with. We've discussed ad nausea the fact that unemployment benefits are about to make a major change. That comes shortly. But there are 8 serious tax breaks that are about to disappear. Those 8 tax breaks are they're going to affect almost everybody in the United States. The first one, the most important one that is noted, is the $4,000 deduction for college tuitions and fees, up to $4,000. 2 million taxpayers took the claim in 2010. That's savings of more than $4 billion. The second is teacher expenses. You can teachers, elementary and secondary school teachers, can deduct up to $250 per year. That's a deduction in 2010 of approximately $915 million. Now, folks, 4 million teachers are affected by this. Mortgage insurance premiums. 4.2 million taxpayers claimed the deduction in 2010, accounting for $5.6 billion in mortgage insurance deduction, the premiums in their deductions. Now, we're talking about the small people, the little guy. That's a lot of money. State and local taxes for those of us that are in Texas, Florida, Alaska, Nevada. You can't take state and local tax deductions anymore. 57 million taxpayers in 2010 accounted for $16.4 billion in deductions the way it was done. If you're over 70 and a half, you can't, the donations into an IRA are going to be affected. Go a little further, the $500 energy credit for acquiring EnergyStar.com products and those benefits they're going away. Not a lot of money, but you know what? If you're taking the deduction, then the $500 mattered. Commuter costs. That's $2,940 a year in tax-free money, but that perk expires January the 1st. Small to middle income families in the United States are going to get hit, and they're all going to get hit. And my concern is that for the top 1%, they're listening to all the news and it doesn't affect them. The reason you buy rare coins, it doesn't matter to me if it's a circulated 1794 large cent or a 1921 peace dollar. Whether you're spending $7, $70, $700, $7,000, $70,000, pick a number. That's what this is about. It's about looking at your portfolio and realizing that whether it's a 401k, an IRA, your savings account, the few extra dollars that you've got to put aside because you're trying to take care and build your family and provide safety and security, folks, things keep changing. And trust me, I understand frugal. I've gone through some horrible months, but you know what? You get stronger by the challenges and you start looking at things a little bit different. And over time, things improve. But that's the same thing with regards to our economy. We created a bubble market. We've created many bubble markets. And so now, as real estate and the economy start to, quote, improve in many areas of the country, there are still many areas that are depressed. And if you listen to mainstream media, that's what you're going to hear. You're going to see how good things normally are, and you're going to talk about and hear those things at the water cooler. But today, the average person on the street doesn't see prosperity. They see trying to hold on to anything or everything. I've got friends that are fighting with health issues in their family, worried about asset loss. Folks, this is how you secure added dollars. You protect yourself. And so, again, whether you got a portfolio that's worth a lot of money and you need to start considering the sheltering, or whether or not you've just got a few dollars. Folks, I don't care if you come up here and you buy a silver dollar. And silver dollars can be bought from about $25 to $30 up to tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's a reason why we do what we do. I want to congratulate a good friend, client, brother in Christ, Ronnie. Congratulations on the upgrade. We acquired a coin a couple of years ago. The coin went from an extra fine to an AU, graded by one of the major grading companies, because I really don't try to promote them specifically. I just like them more than the others because they trade on a computer network. They're not using necessarily all of the first day razzmatazz information to make a living. They do provide some of that first day stuff, but a grading company is in the business to authenticate and grade coins, not promote them. When that changes and bias starts to come into the equation, you have to start to worry about it. But ultimately, this one single specimen went from a cost of about $7,000 for a coin that should have only been about $6,000. But the upgrade doubles the value of the coin. And folks, I gotta tell you, I don't always agree with the graders. I want to buy coins that are pristine, that have a look that other coins don't have. And I've argued and debated with people. It's why I talk about it in almost every show now. Don't allow another dealer or a spouse, somebody who is not industry bred, to give you the advice that a deal is a bad deal. I hear it all the time. And I sold a fabulous coin, just an amazing specimen for about, I want to say that coin was $6,500. It was an 1871 Philadelphia 20 in AU 58. Well, sure enough, according to the customer, and I believe Joe, I believe you found the coin for $5,300. But comparing coin A to coin B is not always the fair analysis. You don't go by just the grade. I can prove it time and time and time again. The coin that I used on air about a week and a half ago was an 1881 San Francisco Morgan silver dollar in mint state 65. There's specimens from 165 to 200 bucks. Then you jump into the 350 range. Yet there was one for $6,999. That was in a morning show. By the afternoon show that day, that coin was sold, gone, and off the net. Folks, that's a deal. And there's a reason why it was $7,000. It had pedigree to it. The coin was a CAC coin. It had the little green football. There were lots of reasons. And so because you get a deal and you find something that looks like it's similar, doesn't mean it's similar. It means that you've got to consult. Now, we've taken this one specimen that Ronnie owned. We've upgraded it. Now, there's a major show coming up, I guess 2 weeks out, and that coin will be resubmitted at the show. We're going to give the other grading company an opportunity to see if they want to grade it a little higher. And then depending on that grade, we very well may give it to CAC and see if we can get either the green football or the gold football sticker. If we could get the gold, then that would take a retail coin of about $13,000 or $14,000 and probably start to push the $20,000 to $25,000 range. A coin that was overpriced based on the guide sheet could go up by as much as 400%. Folks, I hit that one out of the park. And I felt like it, but you know what? Dealers deal with cash flow and they deal with reality. Reality is you help someone out, and that's what we did. That's how we took advantage of it. And ultimately, it doesn't always work. I'll be the first to admit it, but there are fundamental reasons why we do what we do. It's important. It makes sense. I want to certainly give people good advice. But part of the advice is understanding that there's a time and a place for everything. And everything in its place means consult, consult, consult. Own some inexpensive gold and silver. Own some medium-priced material. Own some Carson City Morgan silver dollars. Own some $20 gold pieces. Own some cheap gold. Own some expensive gold. Own different things so that you can take advantage so that we get to a place where you make money. I hope that makes sense. Now, folks, there's a lot to discuss. And I've got clients that like pennies, that like nickels and dimes and quarters and half dollars. I've got other clients that only want, quote, expensive material. They want to own the expensive coins because over time, they're the ones that make the most money. I understand that not everybody understands the market. There's a lot going on out there. But ultimately, this is a time where you really have to do some education, get some due diligence, do some reading, see how you can assist the marketplace. It is important to see if what you like is in something that you could possibly make money. That's why we do this. We do it so that we can consult and help each other out. And so building a portfolio, if you want pennies, if you like wheat pennies, if you like little coins, because you can get more of them out of pocket change, then chase them. But don't leave the rare ones out of the book. Collect the rarest ones. They're the ones that will make the most money over time. Now, there's lots of 1909 San Francisco VDB pennies. There's no doubt about it. But this is that point in time where you want to do other things. And by doing so, you give yourself an opportunity to make money because you got the rare coins. Folks, more people, over 50% of this population collects coins in some form or fashion. And so for me, I want to make sure that my clients understand those factors, that we get into things that other people want. That sounds like a cliche. People love silver. And I talk to young people and older people all the time. Nobody wants to own the expensive coin. That's the one that matters. It's the hole filler. It's the one that most people ignore and they don't take advantage of. But boy, when the opportunity comes, it becomes a feeding frenzy. Michael and I were talking about a couple of coins a week ago that were still bidding around $200. Now they're up to $30,000. And guess what? By the time that auction goes off, you'll see the coin bring somewhere in the mid six, well, maybe not mid six. We'll see where it goes. I know it'll be a 6-digit coin. I know it's going to trade for more than 100,000. Literally, it's a $250,000 coin that a week ago was bidding for 200 bucks. That's crazy. Anyway, I don't really have a preference over what you collect. As long as you remember, you've got to collect. You've got to own multiple types of coins in multiple qualities. That's how you make money. Now, the premium in silver maple leafs and silver eagles, if you're buying them in quantity, hasn't really adjusted. But what I can tell you is from Christmas Eve to today, so from Tuesday to Friday, the price of a 10-ounce bar has moved up by 2 percentage points. And you say, Brett, 2% doesn't really sound that attractive to me. Well, you know what? It may not be on the face, but you know what? It is when you consider that you're not making anything in your checking account or your savings account. Anyway, there's so many different ways of looking at the economy, so many different ways of looking at where you're headed and what the prosperity of the future holds. I look at the fact that the ratio between gold and silver is fluctuating from 60 to 62 ounces of silver to an ounce of gold if you're playing in paper. The Dow and the NASDAQ are trending down, but only a small fraction. My concern is that we're going to go from basically 16.5 back to 9. Or you're going to buy into a bank stock that takes a serious hit. Remember, stock is paper. It's not even really paper anymore. Now it's just digital. You're looking on a computer screen trying to figure out what your net worth is. And I'm going to keep telling you, you don't have one because you can't get into the computer to grab your money. You sell today a stock transaction, you might settle Tuesday. Odds are you won't see the money until a week from now. Thursday, Friday at the earliest because it's a holiday coming up. And if you're trading a penny stock or an over-the-counter stock, you could be 2 to 3 weeks from getting liquid. Gold and silver, rare coins, provide you liquidity, safety from the volatility of the markets. This is about protecting yourself. Wealth protection, wealth insurance, many cliches, many buzzwords get used. Bottom line is you own multiple types of assets, multiple class products, so that you give yourself a little bit of comfort and you're able to put your head down on the pillow at night comfortably without worrying about what you've done or where you're at. There's a lot of advice and a lot of information I can share with you. You can go to our website. If you click on the meltdown.com, there's a links page that'll send you into a myriad of other banners. I want to help educate you. You can email me questions, other information you get off of other sites. Email me Brett, B-R-E-T-T, at thegoldexchange.net. You can call me 281-548-2646 or toll free 877-705-2646. Hit option 0, get a live voice. If we're busy, leave a message. We'll call you back, I promise. There's so many different coins out there. 9,000 different types of coins, and they're struck in 20 different qualities. That means there's 180,000 different grades and coins across and billions of coins deep. We haven't hit the bubble. We're a long way from the top. That's why you want to get involved. You want to build different types of coins, maintain the collectivistor status. And folks, if you don't understand what I'm talking about, there's over 500 shows, nearly 400 hours of audio so that you can go back, make notes, ask questions. Whether it's me or somebody else, I'll help keep somebody else priced properly. If you've got a question about it, it's not always about the price. It's about sometimes the quality of what you're looking at. Anyway, I never want to get off air, not even on a podcast, without talking about Texas Children's Hospital, both the Downs Clinic and the Ronald McDonald House. Now, folks, these are full facilities, and they are very busy at this time of year, both in the NICU and the PICU units. That's neonatal and pediatric intensive care, everything from RSV to other special needs that develop with our children. But I am very particular to the Downs Clinic. That's the Meyer Center. It's run by Catherine Ostemeyer. I appreciate her so much, but it's located just south of Fannin. They've gotten so busy that they relocated the facility outside of the main hospital, but they take care of special needs kids regardless of what the need is. The Ronald McDonald House at Texas Children's is on the 4th floor. There's 20 rooms, between 40 and 60 people every night. They could use a hot meal. It's an opportunity to get away from the bedside and just have a little respite. Either lie down, watch some TV, read a book, just relax for a little bit. If you can provide a hot meal to the Ronald McDonald House at Texas Children's, please call 832-824-8600. That's 832-824-8600. If you're looking to provide a donation or a tithe, at themeltdown.com, there's donation banners. Please click on them, provide the information. You'll get a receipt for your contribution, but you'll be helping somebody who really needs the help. And ultimately, the information is anonymous for me, so you don't have to worry about being hounded, emailed, or called. I appreciate you listening in. If you've got questions, 281-548-2646 or 877-705-2646. Hit option 0. Have a great morning. We'll talk to you later this afternoon. God bless you.